Ciao a tutti! Today I want to talk about some common things that many tourists do in Italy and specifically in Italian restaurants and that are actually considered rude or inappropriate here in Italy. Now, these are small things, but they can completely change how Italian people perceive you and your overall dining experience. So many tourists go to a restaurant in Italy and they assume it works exactly like in their country. So, for example, they may show up very early for dinner, or they may just walk and sit down without waiting, or maybe they just order one thing for the whole table, like one pizza for the whole table. Now, the problem is that some of these behaviors are quite far from the norm in Italian restaurants. So they can create confusion and oftentimes they can even come across as quite rude. Now, of course, every country has its own restaurant culture. And in some countries, those things are completely normal. But here in Italy, it's just different. Eating out for us is not just about food. It's a slower, more relaxed experience that has its own rules and rituals. So, if you want to have your best, most authentic Italian restaurant experience, it really helps to understand those rules and rituals, especially what not to do. Now, as always, I'm also going to try to do my best at explaining the reasons behind these rules so that you can get a real understanding for the cultural reasons behind them. I don't want you to feel like these are like strict dons that don't have any meaning. I want you to understand the meaning behind them so you can really get a dive into the culture, into real Italian culture. So, andiamo, let's go. Mistake number one, showing up too early at the restaurant. Now, in Italy, we tend to have lunch and dinner quite late compared to other countries. So, of course, restaurants follow this habit. So, restaurants for dinner, for example, often open around 7:30. Really not very, it's not very common for us to have restaurants opening up before 7:30 or even 8 p.m. And if you show up at 6 p.m. at a restaurant, that can feel strange or inconvenient. The kitchen may already be open because people will be already there to work and prepare, get ready for the night. But the dining room may not be fully ready yet, so it can be inconvenient for the staff. And most of the times, they are just not going to let you in. So my recommendation is check opening hours on the door of the restaurant if you pass like if you pass in front of a restaurant and you like it and you want to go there, just look for the opening hours at the door or check online. But keep in mind they're probably going to be quite late compared to what you're used to. Mistake number two, just walking in the restaurant and sitting down. Now, these would just be considered rude and out of place, like not showing respect for the restaurant staff. That's not how we do that. So, my recommendation is always wait to be seated. So, wait at the entrance. Of course, the staff is going to greet you and then they will guide you to your table. So, a simple exchange like buongiorno, buonasera, salve, always greet the staff. And then they're going to tell you prego. So that means please come in and follow me. And then they're going to sit you at your table. Mistake number three, assuming you can get food whenever you want. Restaurants in Italy have specific hours. So lunch is usually between 12:30 to 2:30 p.m. and dinner is around 7:30 to 10:30 p.m. If you want to eat something outside those times, then it's better to go to local cafes that also offer simpler meals like panini, sandwiches, or pizza al taglio, which is pizza by the slice. Because for us, restaurants are only for those time frames. Okay, mistake number four, asking for separate checks. Now, splitting the bill is not very common in Italy, or at least it's not common to have the restaurant split it for you. It's usually one bill for one table, and then people split it themselves. Now, this comes from a mix of things, a mix of having less flexible payment systems, but also having quite complicated tax rules, and in general, a cultural habit of sharing the total instead of splitting like exactly and paying for exactly what you had compared to what the other person had. So we usually just take the bill and split it in equal parts between all the people at the table. That's how we Italians do that. Okay, mistake number 5, numero 5, ordering too little. In Italy, we go to restaurants when we want a meal that includes multiple courses. Now, this doesn't mean that you have to order all courses necessarily, but definitely we order more than one. If you order just one small dish, or if you order one dish only for more than one person, so for the whole table, that would earn you some strong disappointment from the restaurant staff. For example, if you order one pizza for the whole table, maybe because you expect something like a big American style pizza that you can share, you will be disappointed because pizza in Italy is usually for one person. Of course, you can split it, maybe if you're there with your partner, but maybe you're probably going to add a salad. That's how we would do that. So you're going to be disappointed, and the restaurant staff will also be disappointed because that's not what a restaurant is for in Italy. It's not for just ordering one pizza for the whole table. Again, if you don't feel like having a bigger meal, or you just want something fast, quick to snack, then it's better to go to a local cafe. You will find more options there that are more suitable for your that specific need. Now, I would really like to know if you ever done any of those things in Italy, probably without knowing, and maybe you notice a puzzle look from the Italian restaurant staff. Let me know in the comments. I'm always curious to know about your experiences in Italy. Now, what I want you to remember is this. These are not strict rules. As I always say, there's no police checking on you, but there's no food police or restaurant police checking on you for these. But these are definitely ingrained cultural expectations that we have in Italy. And when you follow them, everything starts feeling smoother and more natural. So it's a great way to have a more authentic experience, like the one that we locals have when eating at a restaurant in Italy. And by the way, if you want to understand all the customs and practical aspects of what it's really like to live in Italy, then my Living in Italy guide can be very helpful. This guide walks you step by step through bureaucracy, healthcare, daily life, and cultural differences with clear explanations and practical advice based on real experience. So you know what to expect and how to navigate things with confidence here in Italy. If you would like to learn more about living in Italy, then click the link below this video in the description box. Now, one last tip. This is also very important. Don't expect constant attention. In Italy, waiters don't check on you every few minutes. It's not because we have bad service, it's actually a way to give you privacy and let you enjoy your meal at your own pace. So if you need something, you can simply call them at any time, like, scusi, scusi. There you go. And for the same reason, in Italy, the waiter will not bring the bill unless you ask for it. So the point is that you decide when your meal is over, and giving you the check beforehand would be considered very rude from them. So they also don't want to be rude with you. And that's why they would never do something like that. So again, if you need to ask, if you want the check, then you need to ask for it. So once you're done, il conto, per favore, and you will be good to go. So remember, in Italy, it's not just about what you eat, but also how you experience it. And I hope this video helped you with experiencing Italy restaurant dining at the best. That's all for today. I will see you in the next video. Ci vediamo al prossimo video. Ciao ciao!